Hi there. Welcome to the Great Outdoors Adventures Travel Group. This is the Western Caribbean Cruise Adventure orientation, and I'm just going to hide the control button there. So welcome. This is a Great Outdoors Adventures Travel Group, and we are happy you are here. This is our orientation meeting for our upcoming Western Caribbean diving, snorkeling, and hiking cruise adventure that we are so excited about. It is coming up March 1st through the 8th, 2026. And it is going to be an awesome, awesome trip. But before we move into that, I just want to welcome you to the Great Outdoors Adventures Travel Group. My name is Laura Halleck. I am the group administrator. We started this group in 2016. We were just a bunch of folks, like-minded, active adults, and we enjoy the beauty and majesty and wonder of nature and adventure travel in the great outdoors. So that's how we started. We were just a group of hikers and loved to hang out with each other, and the group has just grown from there. So once again, this is the Western Caribbean Cruise Adventure, which is coming up in our group. And the agenda for this meeting is I'm going to introduce you to the Western Caribbean and the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. Then we'll talk about the cruise itinerary, where we're going to go, the ports of call. And then we're going to talk about Princess Cruises and the Regal Princess ship that we're going to be on. And then we'll talk about what this cruise adventure and excursions is all about, what we're going to be doing. And then importantly, how much will it cost, right? Payments and deposits, how does all that work? And then I'm going to give you some tips and pointers for international travel and logistics, as well as some important details that you'll need to know for this trip. And then we'll close with questions and contact information. So here we go. So basically the Western Caribbean is this area right here. And if you're going to be on a Western Caribbean cruise, you could visit any one of these ports. And that would be Jamaica, the Caymans, Mexico, Cozumel, and then Costa Maya. Not too many people know about that one, and so we'll talk about that. They also go to Belize and then down to Honduras and Roatan. And and you'll be either departing from Fort Lauderdale or Galveston if you're on a Princess cruise. So the Western Caribbean is an amazing place. Lots of culture, lots of history, as well as, beautiful white sand beaches and, crystal clear blue waters that are just teeming with marine life. And they say it's where ancient Mayan ruins rise from the jungle floor. So, the beauty of the rainforest. So it really has it all in terms of a vacation. So I just can't think of a better place to go if you're going on a cruise. What makes this area special, my opinion, not just, the ancient Mayan culture and history, but also the Great Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. It is the largest barrier reef in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, the second largest in the world. Okay, second to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. The whole area is an UNESCO World Heritage Site, but it's approximately 625 miles long. You might see some write-ups that say a little less or a little bit more, but basically, about 625 miles. And it's located along the coast of up to, 3 to 4 different countries. So that's quite a bit. And contains over 500 different species of fish and marine life. And so the variety of biodiversity, marine life, corals is it's just amazing. So I'm really excited to show you this. And I love the Western Caribbean. So it is a top diving destination, as you could imagine. And that's just some of the marine life that you could see. And then, you know, as well, it's a top snorkeling destination, and has some of the most beautiful, colorful reefs, just full of life and color. But on our Western Caribbean cruise, here's what we'll be doing. We will be departing from Galveston. Okay, so departing from Houston. And well, our flight goes into Houston. And so the ship departs from Galveston. And our first port of call will be Cozumel, okay, on the Yucatan. Our second port, they've just changed the itinerary slightly, but we will be visiting Roatan in Honduras. And then our third port is Costa Maya, also pronounced Mahawal. So that will be our itinerary. And it is as such. We will be departing on March the 1st out of Houston. Okay, we'll mostly be flying into Houston Hobby, and I'll talk about that later. And then the ship departs from Galveston. We'll have 1 day at sea, then arrive at Cozumel. And as I said, the next day, our second port will be Roatan. And then our third and final port will be Costa Maya. We'll have 2 days of fun at sea. And it really is a lot of fun on the ship. There's so much to do and enjoy. And then we'll be returning back on Sunday, the 8th, back at Galveston, and then returning home that afternoon. So that is our cruise itinerary. So our first port is Cozumel, okay? And it is located off of the Yucatan, right? It is 45 minutes by ferry to the mainland. It is the third largest island in Mexico. So some trivia for you here. It's 30 miles long, 9 miles wide. Is, you know, can imagine in this area, it's really steeped in Mayan cultural heritage, but also Spanish, right? The Spanish arrived in the 1500s. And unfortunately, it was detrimental to the Mayans, and then it was abandoned. And in the 1800s, used as a pirate haven. So some interesting history here. And it wasn't rediscovered until the famous oceanographer, my favorite, Jacques Cousteau, in 1961. And not much happened after that, but not till 1996. And that's when Cozumel was recognized for its world-class scuba diving. And they started the National Reef Park to preserve and conserve, you know, the dive sites and the marine environment there that they have. So it's also known for its white sand beaches and crystal clear blue waters. And it also has, you know, a popular cruise port. And so it's usually one of the most popular cruise destinations on a Western Caribbean itinerary. So there it is. There's the cruise port and a small map here of Cozumel. The main town is San Miguel, only town. So hear a lot about Cozumel in the diving community. Really great diving, drift diving in Cozumel. So and here's some pictures. Actually, this is Roatan. Sorry about that. Our second port is going to be, we're going to leave Cozumel and we're going to head over to Roatan. And Roatan is Honduras. It's part of the Bay Islands that are located 35 miles off the coast of Honduras. And some trivia for you. You move to the next slide. Roatan was discovered by Christopher Columbus, they say, in 1502 to 1504, and then became a pirate's, you know, destination, if you will, a harbor for pirates and pirate activities during the 17th and 18th century. It is the largest, as I said, of the Bay Islands, 40 miles long and 2.5 miles wide. So it's not very wide, as opposed to how long this island is. But it's really rich in natural beauty with rugged mountains and thick rainforest and a whole host of biodiversity on land as well as in the water. So if you're into, plants and botany, you're going to love it. Wildlife species there that are endemic. But if you're a scuba diver, you're going to appreciate it for, the marine life and corals and just the rich coral reef system that they have there. And that's in addition to white sand beaches and crystal clear blue water. But, again, if you're a diver, you have heard about Roatan. Roatan is an excellent destination for scuba diving, for snorkeling, and that's in addition to being a popular cruise port with Mahogany Bay, its principal port. So some of the activities there, as I mentioned, diving and snorkeling, but also kayaking, zip lining. They have botanical gardens tours, but really a fun place and beautiful. So here is a map of Mahogany Bay. And you can see it's a rather large cruise port with lots of things to do. So even if you don't choose to go on an excursion, there are plenty of things to do right there at the port. But our last port here will be Costa Maya, and it's also pronounced Mahawal. It is a small fishing village, okay, and it's located down the coast from the Mayan Riviera. It's about 3.5 hours from Playa del Carmen. But what I appreciate about Costa Maya, and I'm looking forward to visiting and seeing this place, is it's really supposed to be off the beaten path and laid back. Okay, so not many people know about it. I mean, you'd have to be on a cruise, a Western Caribbean cruise like we're doing, to even find out about it, and which is how I found out about it. So I'm really looking forward to it. In addition to, again, more white sand beaches and crystal clear blue water, but it's a real pristine and remote area on the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. And what I think is significant, and I do hope we get the opportunity to see, but it's 18 miles from the what's called the Chinchorro Bank. And it is the largest coral atoll system in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's also the Banco Chinchorro Biosphere and Marine Reserve. And so it's supposed to be an underwater oasis, really rich and abundant in biodiversity and marine life, and a paradise, for scuba diving and snorkeling. Which is what we're going to be doing, not the scuba diving, but we'll be doing a glass bottom boat tour. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. But I do hope, if time and weather conditions permit, that we get to see the 40 Cannons wreck, which is supposed to be laying in only 10 feet of water. So it's a great snorkeling site. So this is going to be a lot of fun and very interesting, because it's just, like I said, off the beaten path. Not too many people know about it. And my opinion is these are some of the best places that you can visit. So, and here's some pictures of the marine life. It's just, it's going to be amazing. So, but we're going to be on a Princess Caribbean cruise, and I'm so excited about that, visiting this area on a Princess cruise. I love Princess. And here is a quick infomercial, if you will, of Princess. get you all excited about a princess cruise in the Caribbean. They offer all types of cruises, all different ports, East Caribbean, Southern Caribbean, and Western Caribbean. So whatever your desire is, you can find it. And it's a great cruise line. So more about Princess. It is the original Love Boat, although we won't be on a boat that old. Okay. And somebody made a comment to me, and I'm like, I don't think it's that old of a boat. But anyways, it is a premium cruise line. Okay. So that means it is, and I call it value luxury travel. And so it's a little less pricey than a luxury cruise, but it's a little better than a mass market cruise line. And they have 16 ships, very elegant, very beautiful. And then, of course, all-inclusive cruise packages really is the best value vacation that you can do. And that's why they're so popular, and the cruise lines are doing well. Even in recessions, they seem to really do well. They have worldwide destinations, with Alaska being the #1 destination that they have, that they're most known for. And then what I like and appreciate is they'll have on particular cruises, destination cultural enrichment, they call it, with naturalist seminars. We were on a Hawaiian cruise, and we had a Hawaiian ambassador as well as a naturalist on board. And it was just so much fun to learn more about the destination that you're visiting, right? And then they have what they call Discovery Channel recommended cruises. And as an example of that, Alaska, you can be on a Discovery Channel cruise. So with that being said, moving on, we're going to be on the Regal Princess, and it is going to be a beautiful ship. The last one I was on was the Ruby, and that was just the most gorgeous ship. But it says here, enjoy sweeping views from 1,400 balconies, take a sea walk. It just has so much to offer. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful ship. Here's some trivia for you. The ship was inaugurated in 2014. Okay. 1,083 feet long, 19 decks, 780 cabins. And of course, gourmet dining activities. And we'll talk about what's included in our cruise. But the beds, I can attest to that, very, very comfortable. The rooms are very, very cozy and comfortable. But let me play you this video. You'll get a better idea of our Regal Princess. right. That is the Regal Princess, and it is going to be amazing. So next screen here. All right, so here's a few pictures. My favorite place is always what's called the Piazza, and that's a central part of the ship. They have entertainment there. They have the Vines wine bar over there. On our ship, it was over on the left, but you know, the coffee shop on the right. And it's just a really fun place to hang out. It is beautiful. You see the glass elevator going up and down. So that's the Piazza for the Regal Princess. And this is a picture of its skywalk. We didn't have that on the Ruby, so that's going to be really neat to experience on the Regal. So here's some pictures. As you saw in the video, right? The bottom right hand, that is the inside stateroom. That's what we had on the Ruby Princess on our Hawaiian cruise. It was a 2-week cruise. We thought we would be kind of claustrophobic and ready to get off that ship. We didn't know if we can handle it, right? And it turned out we loved the room. It was just so comfortable and cozy. And you're only in there really to you know, get ready for bed. So, and they will split that, you know, you either have one, I think it's a queen, or 2 twins. So they will do that for you. And then the top upper left is a balcony. And, you know, some people swear that's, you know, they're only going to do a balcony. I'm like, well, you know, inside rooms aren't bad. You can put, you know, the little less expensive and you know, a little more cost effective, and you can put whatever extra money you save on the room into your excursions or whatever you want. So it's you know, whatever you're comfortable doing and having, either one, it's going to be a beautiful and very comfortable room. So here is a map of the Regal Princess. And so you can see where some of the things will be located. And so, all right, but talking about the fun things we're going to do, the shore excursions. All right, so at our 3 ports of call, and we found that we had 4 ports of call on our Hawaiian cruise, and we were pretty whooped out. So 3 will be enough. If you're going to do something at every port, 3 is enough. But all right, so first we're going to be arriving in Cozumel, and what we have planned, and again, let me just start by saying that the shore excursions are optional, and they're not included, and we'll talk about what's included, what's not included in just a few minutes. But we do hope you join us, right? And this is something that comes highly recommended. Okay, they call it Discovery Recommended, but this is the Rio Secreto, okay, cave hiking adventure, and it is in the Rio Secreto Nature Reserve. All right, and in this area of the Yucatan, they have really the second largest underground river system in the world, and so it has since become a nature reserve in 2007. So that cost of $134.95, 10% of whatever gets sold in terms of tours. So it's ecotourism, 10% gets sent back to this conservation organization. But this is a really, really neat and interesting excursion. So the Mayans used these underground river systems, right, for spiritual ceremonies and rituals. So it's going to have a very mystic, mysterious feel to it. Okay, it's guided, and so we're going to find out all about the history and the culture, and you know why this was important to the Mayans. And it's going to be an amazing trip. So that's the cost. It's $134.95, and that's what it includes. Okay. Includes lunch and of course refreshments and plenty of fun. This is going to be a blast. So I hope you will consider joining us on this one. But oh, good, we have a video here. You get an idea of what the Rio Secreto tour is all about, except for the video.
If you're an illegal alien, this runway is your future because you're headed home. I'm Christine Ohm.
Yeah, sorry about that. We don't need any parking. Here we go. Awesome. This is going to be so amazing. Cannot wait. But that is the Rio Secreto. That is the tour. It is going to be so much fun. All right, moving on. Our next port of call will be Roatan. This one is really going to be the only time we're going to be scuba diving. I choose the shore excursions that are with the ship. Why? Well, I don't think there's much of a cost difference, for one. And number two, you don't want the ship to leave without you. And so, you know, a lot of these destinations, you know, they don't have the roads and infrastructure, highway systems that we have. So if something goes wrong, something happens, accident or something, and you're delayed, you want that ship to wait for you. So we are doing Roatan. It is the only port they're offering the scuba diving. And so we're going to do a 2-tank dive in Roatan, and we'll be working with the wonderful folks. I've met them. They are awesome at Anthony's Key Resort. It is one of the top resorts in Roatan, and they've been around for about 40 years. And so the cost is $159.95. Okay, does include all of this: the transportation, our tanks and weights, our equipment. Okay, important. As well, it's guided, right? Frankly, all of our dives are guided, and then snacks and refreshments as well. But it's going to be so much fun. So looking forward to this, and I think we have some videos coming up here. All right, so this is Anthony's Key Resort with their own 5-star Patty dive shop, and that's one of their boats right there. All right, and then we have a map. So this is Roatan, and some of the dive sites we could be going to. We don't know, right, until we get there. But a lot of great dive sites in Roatan. Here's the video. Okay, here we go. This is amazing, and I think we'll need to go back to Anthony's Key Resort. I think I got to check out those bungalows over the water. So, okay, here we go. up. All right. Well, obviously that's a video, centering on a dive and stay package at the resort, which maybe we will do in the future. That would be awesome. But you get the idea. It's going to be great diving in Roatan. So, but from Roatan, we will be moving on to our last port, which is Costa Maya, Mahawal. And, with it being a small port, I don't see a whole lot more to offer, but I think this is the best one. This is the glass bottom boat tour and snorkel. This will fill up really fast. But if you sign up for this cruise, best to look at the shore excursions as soon as possible, because the best ones do fill up. But anyways, so this will be a glass bottom boat tour and snorkeling adventure, right? Exploring the pristine and remote Costa Maya area. And so, I mean, what we could see just about anything. I mean, it's going to be really, really amazing. The cost of this is only $69.95. All right. Not bad. And then again, it includes the round trip transportation, your snorkeling gear, refreshments, and professional guide. Not included food. So you have some snacks, might want to bring them with. And then you'll need to bring your own sunscreen, towel, beach shoes, or water shoes. And if you got a camera, we love pictures in this group. Bring a camera. I'm all about the pictures. All right, so that is our last tour, and save the best for last, right? But anyways, if you're interested in learning more about the Western Caribbean and the ports that we'll be visiting, here are a few websites I recommend. These are pretty good, and they should have everything that you're looking for, okay? Because they're the Tourism Bureau websites. All right. So getting to the nitty-gritty here. This cruise adventure includes the Princess Plus package. Highly recommend it. I think it's the best value package that I've seen in the different cruise lines. This is the best. So we're going to have a 7-day cruise on the beautiful Regal Princess. Rates that I quote you inside, okay, inside stateroom. Why? Because you can upgrade. You don't want an inside room, don't think it's going to be big enough, want a balcony, that's fine. I can quote you a balcony room, okay? So, but we'll start with the inside, and I'm perfectly happy in an inside, but on this trip, I do have a balcony, okay? We're going to have full course dining, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The food is terrific. Every meal is delicious. Okay, we'll go on here to the Princess Plus package. Here's some of the beverages that it includes, because it includes more than just drinks. So it's, beer, wine, cocktails, specialty coffees, non-alcoholic drinks, a juice bar. Also, this is part of the Princess Plus, 2 premium desserts per day. Let's see, 2 fitness classes as part of the Princess Plus package. Wi-Fi. Here's where you could really, well, I guess it depends on if you take a lot of pictures, if you're on Facebook a lot, right? Want to stay connected with people back home. You could spend a lot of money just on paying for internet Wi-Fi, but that's included in this, okay? And then some of the other things that are included in basically on a cruise are your onboard activities, pools, hot tubs, a fitness center. The 2 fitness classes, that's also part of the Princess Plus package. They have 24/7 Ocean Now room service, which is kind of nice. We've used it once or twice. Actually, we like our coffee delivered in the morning. So, and then crew gratuities are part of the package. And then onboard credit. And onboard credit, I'll talk about and our payments and deposits. That'll vary depending on the promotional offer that we can get. All right, So what is not included, I think it's important that you understand and know what isn't included, and that would be our airfare to Houston. We're going to be flying into Houston Hobby, so that's HOU, and you can start looking at flights now. They are available. As well, the airport transfers from Houston Hobby to the port round trip. That is something you need to let me know if you're interested in doing the transfer with us. Most of us are doing the transfer. It's really a great value, I think. I pay more for a shuttle from my house to Phoenix Sky Harbor than what this costs. So I'll talk about that. It's roughly about $108, I think, round trip. We're going to be flying into Houston the day before. I highly recommend that unless you really, really want to trust the airlines to get you there in time. But that's kind of a risk. So we'll be coming in the day before. We'll need to pay for our hotel accommodations. And then if you choose to stay after the cruise is over in Houston, that'll be up to you as well. Princess trip protection, that's something you need to let me know if you want to do that. I can also, we'll talk about it in a few minutes, get you a quote for travel insurance, which will include more than what the trip protection would cover you for. Shore excursions, as I said, those are extra. Onboard shopping, they have a lot of great stores and shopping. I bought a watch last time and it was a really great deal because it's duty free. Premium alcoholic beverages, we get alcohol as part of the package, but if you're going to be asking for anything that is a premium top shelf, what they consider premium top shelf, that will not be included, as well as specialty dining. They love to take your picture. It's a lot of fun, especially on the formal nights. I've done it. I love it. It's a ton of fun. And why not? It's a good value, even if you buy a package, really a great value. And then spa treatments. Those are not going to be included in this cruise package. All right. So what is the cost? So the total cost, and this is, based on the availability, which so far there's rooms available. In the section that we're in, I believe there's still rooms available. Want to keep our rooms together. I don't have a block of rooms. I can tell you that story, how I tried to block rooms before, and it just didn't go well with how we sign up for things in this group. So this is how we have to do it. And if we get enough rooms together, in the end, we can switch over to a group, and there's a few benefits and perks that we could get from that. But right now it's room by room. And inside stateroom double occupancy is going for $1,102, so $1,102. And that includes your Princess Plus and the taxes and port fees. Okay. Generally, it is a $200 deposit per room required up front. Depending on the promotional offer, it could be $100 per room, but just figure it's $200 unless I can get you a different offer. The payment in full, this is what's important and why I'm really going to stress if you're interested in coming, and I hope you are, we're going to have a blast. This is so much fun. The payment is going to be due in full. With the cruise lines, it's always 90 days before departure. Okay, so that makes it December 1st that I need to have your payment in full. And payment is by credit card with the cruise lines. So I will need to get on the phone with you, and we can do that together. But to come on this trip, you contact me, Laura Hellick, the group organizer, and I can get your booking made and try to get you in the area as close as possible to where we're going to be. What you'll receive is a confirmation email from Princess of your booking. And then from there, your next step is to download the Princess app, unless you have it already, to your mobile device. And then you can log into your cruise planner. And then the steps from there, they'll tell you what you need to do to get ocean ready. And there's a few steps involved in that, and they'll tell you about it. So To come on a cruise, here's some travel logistics. In general, for any type of international travel, you do need a current U.S. passport. Make sure it's valid for 6 months. Okay, double check the date that it expires. If you don't have a passport, or you have one that's going to be expiring within 6 months of your cruise, or your international travel, then you can go to the State Department's website. It is back up. And I did the expedited. I paid the extra because I didn't want to risk not getting my passport in time. It came pretty quickly. So, but normally it's 4 to 6 weeks. With the cruises, you can also use, okay, a birth certificate. It has to be an original copy of your birth certificate along with a valid driver's license, photo ID, right? And you can use a U.S. passport card. And again, that passport card needs to be valid for 6 months. So talk to me about it if you don't have a current passport. But those, I double checked on those rules and make sure I was getting the straight scoop from Princess. And that's basically how it works. Because my mother does not have a U.S. passport, so we have a passport card and an original. We're going to bring both just to be safe, but we have a passport card and an original copy of her birth certificate that we'll be bringing. Some things that I recommend, not required for international travel, are some of the TSA Trusted Traveler programs. You can get TSA PreCheck if you just want expedited, screening at U.S. airports, i.e. domestic travel. That is the cost. But if you think you're going to be doing cruises, international travel, where you're going to be in and out of international countries and coming back to the U.S., connection times can be short. You just never know if you're going to be arriving on time or several minutes or more later than expected. And having the most time that you can get to clear customs and make your connection flight is important, and can come down to being downright critical. Trust me, I've missed my flights before. It's not fun. You do get home, they'll put you on the next available flight. But you can avoid some of that with the global entry. I did it for this last trip to Belize. And once again, we had a tight connection time and it all went beautiful. So do recommend that. And global entry does include TSA PreCheck. So that's not an extra cost for TSA PreCheck. It is included in that fee. All right, moving on. Don't forget, we have to have the travel ID, the STAR driver's license now. If you don't have it, you will need to have it. It's only $25. Pretty easy process. I did it this spring as well, and had no problems. Divers. Okay. Some of our trips, it's going to be required to have dive accident insurance. This is a cruise. There is no requirement. I just highly recommend it. Okay. And the number one company is DAN, Divers Alert Network. Presently, it is a $40 annual membership. And for the insurance, it's an additional $42, and that's paid annually. So it's not per trip, but per year. And these are some of the things, the important things that it will cover, but this is only as it pertains to diving, right? Accidents and things that can happen from diving. So very important to have, not required for this trip. Travel insurance, again, not required, highly recommended. So this is more than just trip protection. Okay, yes, it will handle, cover trip cancellations, trip interruptions, but also baggage delay, damage, and or lost or stolen, your items inside the bags, right? If you bring dive gear, It'll cover that. I had my suitcase severely damaged on this last trip to Belize, and looked like somebody took a knife to the side of it and sliced it all the way down. It was pretty bad. I filed a claim, and honestly, it was paid within 1 to 2 days. They do Zelle payments, and it was wonderful. Very, very easy. It also covers you for medical care for unexpected illnesses. I'm not sure about the COVID. We'd have to double check on that. But I don't know if COVID is really as big of a concern as it was, a few years ago, but still, know what your medical insurance covers and doesn't cover you for travel, and then you can go from there. But this will cover you for international travel, and if you have anything go wrong, and it can include accidents or injuries. I mean, you could slip and fall, so do recommend it. But as I said, Princess does offer trip protection, that if you need to cancel, or if your trip is canceled, they will reimburse you. Okay, so moving on. What else we have? All right, some important tips. Divers, bring your dive cards and license numbers, right? I made that mistake, and I left my dive card on the ship. Didn't do me any good there. Don't do that. But anyways, and then you need to be current. If you haven't dove within the last year or so, then do recommend a scuba refresher course, and just get in the water again. It's a lot of fun. I like my refresher courses, but that's important if you're going to be diving. For this trip, air water temperature should be about in the 80s. I think it's going to be beautiful there. So a 1 millimeter skin suit, I recommend that. I love to wear my skin. Gloves are good. You don't have to have gloves. Rash guard for snorkeling, I really do recommend you be covered, because you're literally floating at the top of the water. Water sandals, all-terrain water shoes would be really good for the Secret River if you're doing that with us. Again, for diving, safety sausage and a whistle, they always recommend that. On the boat, a towel. If you have sunscreen, check to see that it's reef safe. They really want you to have reef safe sunscreen. You can get some on Amazon. And then, sun protection, hat, and clothing. If you think you're going to get seasickness or be, sensitive to, getting sick on the boat, whether it's, the cruise ship or one of our tours, then I highly recommend getting some Bonine or Dramamine. I carry some with me so far, knock on wood, I'm doing okay. But you can also get a prescription patch from your doctor. And that seems to work really well, as long as the patch stays on and it doesn't fall off. And you can get like a waterproof Band-Aid that'll keep it on you. But anyways, I always recommend keep your dive gear, snorkeling gear, whatever, in a bag. If you can put your name on it, all the better. There's always a lot of people on the boat, and things can get real, chaotic at times. Your electronics, please put it in a water resistant dry sack. Keep, if you bring it at all, that'll help, because you will get wet. For shopping, well, at these little vendors, cash is recommended. They usually always take the US dollar, right? And then for any general retail stores and restaurants, yes, they'll accept credit cards. What to pack and bring? That's always a great question. I will send out a packing list, and I use that too, because it just gets so hectic there at the end, and you're stuffing stuff in your suitcase, and you have a checklist. You can stay a little bit more organized and not forget anything. But light clothing will be sufficient. Sweater, a jacket, in the evenings, and then anytime there's a lot of air conditioning, so I always pack a sweater at least. Dress and attire for the ship dining room. Well, there's going to be 2 formal nights. And so for women, attire could be a skirt, a skort. Skirts are acceptable. You don't have to go all out. A lot of people do, and they have a ton of fun. And I've brought dresses before. I have a lot of fun too. You don't have to go to that level if you don't want. What they don't want is for you to show up in shorts and flip-flops, or, jeans, cut off jeans, tank tops. Okay. Guys and girls, no. That will not be acceptable. Guys, a dress shirt, some dress pants. You could be, you don't have to have a tux, a suit and tie. Make it comfortable, but just, think about no flip-flops, no shorts, no tank tops. Yeah. No Hawaiian shirts. Yeah. Or I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a little more formal than that. All right. But rain gear and umbrella. Well, so we're going in March, and December through April is generally the dry season, right? There's 2 seasons in the tropics. It is wet and dry. But it's still the tropics. And so throw in an umbrella if you've got room, a rain hat or something, just in case of a light shower. It could always happen. So, all right, moving on. How do you sign up and register? Well, this Western Caribbean Cruise Adventure is being offered to the Great Outdoors Adventures Travel Group. So you must be a member. Everyone must be a member. And you RSVP there, and then contact me, Laura Halleck, at info@, and it's just greatoutdoorsadventures.net. And let me know you're interested in coming, and I can get you a quote on the room, and then we can go from there. But I will need to have your full name, your email address, and a contact telephone number in that email. Okay. And on any questions, if you have any questions, I'm responsive. Just, email me. That's the best way to reach me. I don't always get the notifications on the meetup right away, but if you email me, I check my emails every day, actually throughout the day. And here's my contact information. I am Laura Halleck, the organizer. And I also am a travel consultant, so you guys get some good information. And I can find some good deals. And that's what we love to do, find the deals. But anyways, there's my telephone. Best to text me if you're going to contact me by cell, otherwise email. And do follow us on Facebook. I put notifications, announcements of our trips there, pictures, some of our past trips and memories. And so great way to stay in touch with us, and a great way to support this group. If you like what we're doing, then please support us on Facebook. And with that being said, that is it. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation, and look forward to your RSVPing for this trip. Come with us. We're going to have a great time, and it's going to be an amazing adventure with great memories for a long time. So with that being said, thank you for coming, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now.